Some of you I know are not quite sure why people in the UK should care all that much about the assassination of Charlie Kirk. After all, he wasn't a household name in Britain until his murder on Wednesday, and it is fair to ask, what's it all got to do with us? Well, make no mistake, Charlie Kirk's killing on the campus of Utah Valley University, 20 minutes into his Prove Me Wrong event, has momentous implications for America and also for all of us in the UK. In a split second, as one of Mr. Kirk's critics challenged his extraordinary claim that limiting transgender rights would be more effective in reducing the impact of gun violence than limiting the sale of guns, in that split second, everything here changed.
Do you know how many transgender Americans have been mass shooters over the last 10 years?
Too many.
Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great.
The sound of a single gunshot fired, we now know, from a rooftop about 150 yards from where Mr. Kirk, aged just 31, was sitting. He never stood a chance. That was clear from gruesome videos of the killing that were allowed to circulate for hours without any effective moderation on Elon Musk's X and the country's other social media platforms, and with absolutely no thought given to Mr. Kirk's wife and 2 infant children. At the scene, chaos quickly ensued, the crowd of 3,000 people fleeing. Only 6 police officers had been assigned to provide security on the campus.
Should we bring this up? I guess we have to. So this just happened. We just found out that Charlie Kirk got shot.
Podcaster Joe Rogan, like Charlie Kirk, hugely influential within Donald Trump's Make America Great Again movement, on air on Wednesday, the actor Charlie Sheen sitting alongside him.
Murder for having a different opinion from somebody else.
Yeah.
Different ideology from somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Beliefs that didn't align.
Yeah.
Within minutes of Charlie Kirk's shooting, the right in America understood its gravity and went into shock, grief, mourning, and anger. The assassin silenced, without doubt, one of the most influential voices in President Trump's ear. The charismatic founder of Turning Point USA, Charlie Kirk spent the past 13 years recruiting hundreds of thousands of young Americans on college campuses nationwide to back Trump for the presidency not once, but 3 times.
To my great fellow Americans, I am filled with grief and anger at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah.
The president knows that without Charlie Kirk, he probably would not be sitting in the Oval Office today. And even as the manhunt for the killer was in only its nascent stages, the president moved immediately to blame the Democrats and their supporters for his friend's assassination.
For years, those on the radical left have compared wonderful Americans like Charlie to Nazis and the world's worst mass murderers and criminals. This kind of rhetoric is directly responsible for the terrorism that we're seeing in our country today, and it must stop right now. My administration will find each and every one of those who contributed to this atrocity and to other political violence, including the organizations that fund it and support it. Radical left political violence has hurt too many innocent people and taken too many lives.
In that address, the president cited examples of political violence that has targeted the conservative right, including the 2 attempts on his own life last year. But he made no mention of June's events in Minnesota, where 2 Democratic Party lawmakers and their spouses were killed by a lone gunman in what appears to have been a politically motivated attack. No mention of Gabby Giffords, the former Democrat Congresswoman from Arizona, who almost lost her life when she was shot by a would-be assassin, nor the long history of political killings in America that took the lives of other Democrats, including President John F. Kennedy, his brother Robert, and the Reverend Martin Luther King. In Trump's telling, the killing only goes one way.
We have a great country. We have a radical left group of lunatics out there, just absolute lunatics. And we're going to get that problem solved. I'm only concerned for the country. Yeah.
Across President Trump's political firmament, the view is being expressed that, in the words yesterday of his Deputy White House Chief of Staff Stephen Miller, a warped, twisted and depraved ideology is taking root on the American left. The fate of millions, he wrote, depends upon its defeat. Earlier this month, Mr. Miller called the Democratic Party a domestic extremist organization. On Capitol Hill on Wednesday,
I'm going to say this. Democrats own what happened today. I am devastated.
Republican Congresswoman Nancy Mace of South Carolina speaking even before news of Charlie Kirk's death was confirmed. And listen to what happened when NBC reporter Ryan Nobles pushed back.
By that logic, do Republicans own the shooting of the two Democratic lawmakers in Minnesota?
Political...
Isn't this on both sides?
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm asking
We
a
don't
serious
know what
question.
condition Charlie Kirk is in right now. Some raging leftist lunatic put a bullet through his neck, and you want to talk about Republicans right now? No.
No, I'm asking
not at all.
You said the Democrats have donated to...
No, this is on... The Democrats own this.
So what of the Democrats, from whom the country has heard so little over the last many months? On Capitol Hill, Chuck Schumer, their leader in the Senate.
This is a time that all Americans should come together and feel and mourn what happened. Violence, which affects so many different people of so many different political persuasions, is an affliction of America. And coming together is what we ought to be doing, not pointing fingers of blame.
If that message sounds like a recording recovered from a time capsule, it is partly because the actions of some grassroots Democrats are fueling President Trump's ability to paint the party as a movement of radical hate. Earlier this week, the president made a rare foray onto the streets of Washington, falsely claiming that the city is now crime-free thanks to his deployment of National Guard troops here. He decided to take his team out for dinner at a local crab and shrimp restaurant. In an astonishing security breach, a handful of protesters were literally waiting for him at his table.
Trump is the Hitler of our time! Free Palestine! Trump is the Hitler of our time! What do you want your legacy to be?
It is getting ugly out there, and Charlie Kirk himself contributed significantly to the radicalization of American civic discourse, even spoke proudly of having done so. Yes, he liked to engage in discussion and dialogue with people who disagreed with him, but his agenda was dominated by positions that just 25 years ago would not have found house room in the Republican Party. This was Charlie Kirk talking about Michelle Obama and other prominent black women in America.
You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously.
This is Charlie Kirk urging his followers to ride to the rescue of a man now serving a life sentence for using a hammer to bludgeon Paul Pelosi, the 82-year-old husband of former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, in an attack on their San Francisco home.
And why is he still in jail? Why has he not been bailed out? By the way, if some amazing patriot out there in San Francisco or the Bay Area wants to really be a midterm hero, someone should go and bail this guy out.
And this is Charlie Kirk on life in the UK.
Great Britain has everything in the world to be proud of. But when I look at Britain today, I see a country where the ruling elites are in a race to abandon the values that made them so great in the first place.
He was speaking there at the Oxford Union only last month, and this is why Charlie Kirk matters to all of us. He was one of the loudest voices in Donald Trump's ear criticising the actions of successive UK governments, Labour and the Conservatives, for leading the country into an abyss. He relentlessly argued that free speech is under attack in Britain. And a week before President Trump makes his second state visit to the UK, there is every indication that the president is increasingly going to prioritise that issue in the bilateral relationship, and is fully on board with Charlie Kirk's prediction for the future of Britain.
I want you to imagine one day that reform might take over this government. You guys can laugh. but they're winning elections in downtown London. Farage is ascendant. There is a silent majority in this country. I see this. Oh, I'm going to really scare you. I see the same themes that led to Trump's rise in this country. I see it with the working class in the streets of London. I see the muscular class. I see people coming up to me. It's the same vibe. You guys are about to see a political revolution, if the stars align, that could mirror what happened in America.
It is entirely possible that, having vowed to amplify Charlie Kirk's voice posthumously, President Trump makes sure that those stars do align by prioritising Kirk's concern with the free speech issue in the UK, by making life after the state visit deeply uncomfortable for the Prime Minister, and by greasing the wheels further for Mr. Farage. Today, in the United States, there is relief. The alleged killer of Mr. Kirk surrendered to authorities last night after a 36-hour manhunt. President Trump made the announcement this morning on Fox News.
With a high degree of certainty, we have him. A father got involved, namely his father, and said, we've got to go in, and they understand it, and again, subject to change, but, you know, the facts are the facts. We have the person that we think is the person we're looking for. But they drove into the police headquarters, and he's there now.
22-year-old Tyler Robinson is said to have confessed to family members that he is the killer, and the governor of Utah, Spencer Cox, revealed details of engravings found on bullet casings allegedly prepared by the suspect.
Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist!" ! Catch! !
President Trump, echoing the views of the vast majority of Charlie Kirk's followers and admirers, said this morning that the killer should quickly be put to death. At the end of next week, right after he departs the UK, he will attend Charlie Kirk's funeral. And for all the pageantry that the King and the Prime Minister will lay on for the Trumps, the President and many of his other acolytes are now as determined as Charlie Kirk was to make sure that their brand of radical populist conservatism ends up governing the UK as well.